Hello, everyone. Welcome to ELI, the place where you get your daily dose of inspiration for entrepreneurship. And today we have with us Samudragupta Talukdar, who is the founder and CEO of Relata, which is a prop tech SaaS startup. Hi, Sam. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Mr. Mohanty, for inviting me. It's great to be part of ELI in this session.
Sam, I would request you to introduce yourself to our audience and a little bit about your background prior to entrepreneurship. Like, what all things did you do in your life, and how did you land up in entrepreneurship?
Yep, thanks. I'm Samudragupta Talukdar. In the industry, people call me Sam. I'm heading Relata is the brand. The name of the company is Cognizant's Private Limited. We're a prop tech company based out of India, especially in Pune. We have been working a lot with enterprises who are building real estate across the ecosystem.
Mhm.
A little bit about myself. I'm born and brought up in a place called Arunachal Pradesh in India, and after that I came for my engineering here in Maharashtra. Post that I have worked with companies like Iron Mountain and Xerox, where I was a solution architect, um, looking forward to design solutions which could be functionally and technologically feasible to business growth, more focused on how solutions can transform the lives of people who are working at different stages of a particular journey. And basis that, I have been working more on the problem solving side, where the idea was creating solutions for global geographies. That's where I ended up learning more about how technology can change life. And Xerox was a great, insightful experience for me, where I have learned a lot, many things about digital transformations and product journeys. So
Mhm.
that's a quick, short synopsis about me.
Okay. And when you thought about entrepreneurship, how did you shortlist the idea of building into property, real estate, and prop tech? How did you arrive at that?
So entrepreneurship was in mind post, or during the engineering phase itself, that we will be focusing something to do something different, which was more in the lines of creating value across the ecosystem. However, it happened during my first job itself, where there are a lot of ideas came in. Things did not go well. I was part of Satyam ecosystem, where we saw some downturns, and then while switching jobs, where I was working on one of the ideas which was more about education. And then later on in 2018-19, when I was realizing that what is the major problem statement for most of us, and the topic which came around was sales for every organization is very tough. And
Mhm.
sales is something which actually changes the whole dynamics of the ecosystem. However, real estate happened to us accidentally. We were figuring out, as a consulting team, how to help out different SMEs and MSMEs, and then really we reached to the point that the real estate ecosystem is facing a lot of transformation, including the RERA coming in during that period. The sales were not that high. The conversion ratios are getting impacted, and basis that we came up with an hypothesis or an idea that you can sell real estate digitally. And that is the time when we ended up getting connected with a lot of developers, got an idea that, hey, well, let's do an exhibition, virtual property exhibition. So we did was first virtual reality exhibition for the Pune real estate market.
Mhm.
And that is the time when we got 25 odd properties to participate. And this is pre-pandemic I'm talking about, so convincing them that, hey, you come down and we'll create a product in a virtual world. People are asking, if you're talking about exhibition, where is this happening physically? So then we had to convince them, and we all got ICICI Bank as a sponsor to this event.
Mhm.
Fast forward to that, after 1.5 month, we found that we got great traction, which is about 1.23 lakhs of visitors coming in, 10,800 odd leads getting generated, and somewhere around 245 plus transactions happen in next 6 odd months. And that was the hypothesis of data. And
Mhm.
since then, we went live on 2nd of October 2020, and that's how we got into real estate, and it's going on right now.
Got it. So you spoke about virtual exhibition. Curious to understand what all technology blocks are involved in, making this possible.
So virtually, when you in real estate, let's try to understand the problem statement is. For your buying process, you need to go and visit a property. Okay, now this is where the challenge comes into the picture. Now, how we can solve this? So either you can create those properties virtually using 360 tools, and or maybe extended reality. So the easiest process was that you have some extended reality tools, like VR products. You create using those creators. You do Photoshop, 360 photo shoot of those properties. You stitch those images, and then you create some hotspots and you publish it through the creator. And once it is published, you can publish it for devices like VR headsets or maybe larger flat screens, mobile devices, and then you put it up on the web platform itself. In
Mhm.
addition to this, you would also like to understand, analytics getting generated out of it. So when you're talking about exhibitions, people want lead details, and that's not only the PID. So it's not only Mr. Mohanty, it's also about their engagement and interaction. Now basis that a sales agent can come and talk to you and can actually help you finding more information about the product. So that's how we created as the first prototype, which worked very well. So it was combination of a VR engine plus analytics, and then at the end of the day, the smart workflow management coming into the picture.
Got it. And the initial success with the 3 lakh plus footfalls and almost 250 conversions, how did you get that? Like, it's quite a massive success for a starter. So, how did you make sure that so many people come to experience the experience that you have built? How did you create awareness in the market?
So it was combination of a great marketing initiative. So we did a lot of marketing initiatives with respect to the digital marketing piece. So we were targeting Maharashtra as a city, and then in that Maharashtra as a city, we ended up targeting people who are, looking forward to buy homes in Pune. So we found out some analysis before doing starting our digital marketing, like what's the percentage of people who are going to get retired in next 2 years, what's the percentage of people who have gone on site and looking forward to come back, the percentage of people, couples who got married in the last 2 years, and all of those statistics and data was made available with a survey. In addition to this, we created those campaigns such that we could reach out to people. We also got support from ICICI Bank for a period. They posted the whole advertisements of visiting the expo on their login page of net banking and mobile banking, which actually got a good traction. And then later on, it was through word of mouth also, because this expo was not just for 2 3 5 days, it was for a more than a month, 1.5 months
Mhm.
period. So we got traction at the mid of the time frame, and essentially that helped us. So it was combination of efforts through digital marketing, ICICI Bank, and word of mouth.
Got it. And was COVID a inflection point? Because that is a time when people realized the value of home, and a lot of traction started happening in the real estate market, and people couldn't go to the properties for some time because of the lockdown and everything. So, how did it play out for you, and did you pivot your business model by any chance?
Yes. So not the business model, but it actually helped us. So it was blessing in disguise, COVID, essentially, because first thing till 2019 or 2020 beginning, people are not looking forward to buy home. It was during the lockdown period where people realized that, hey, I need a bigger home, I need a larger home. Home is an important aspect of my life. And with that change coming into the millennials or maybe Gen Zs, things have started changing. And with respect to that, most of the developers earlier, they were not very tech friendly. Technology was not part of their main roadmap, apart from the top 1 2% of the developers across pan India. Rest of them are looking forward to go the traditional way. With this kind of a lockdown, you did not had any business continuity plan. Now the whole buying process starts with exploration, where you want to know more about information about a product. Following that, you really want to engage with a particular individual such that those answers can be cleared. You get into a negotiation stage. In between, you want to experience different components of the product, and then it goes into the deal stage. Now during this all stages, again, you have direct sales team, you have channel ecosystem like realtors coming into the picture and helping you out. Now, what we found out in the whole process is that in the initial stage, it was the need of the hour. And then later on, maybe after 1 2 years, when pandemic, when people were looking forward to go back to the physical mode again because things have started opening up. That is
Mhm.
one place where we had to, we saw a kind of an inflection point, and we changed our model from digital to a phygital model. That means you can use the same product physically, and that actually increased and enhances the experiences.
Got it. And since COVID, I think your business model also has kind of transformed a bit. Earlier, you were focusing on generating leads for your real estate clients, but I think now it's more towards the CRM model where the sales agents are using the system for storing their leads and doing a continuous engagement with the leads. So, how would you define where your product is at the current stage?
So yes, it started with the process of generating leads. That's how the exhibition and expo goes into the picture. Today, we focus more on how we can increase conversions. Today, if I have to talk about certain numbers across pan India, if you see from the time a lead walks into a project site and from project site to registration, the numbers are sub 10% or sub 8% right now in
Mhm.
India. That's with the leading developers. But if you go down with the mid of the pyramid and the bottom of the pyramid, the numbers are still very, very poor. So we focused on, because for lead generation, you have multiple players, digital marketing agencies, and lot. But how can you convert those leads into bookings, and bookings into registrations was very much important. And that is where we started building the whole product. So it started with the visualization with a pre-lead and a post-lead management system, followed by on-site suite where the different stakeholders can use the product. And then we go into the booking engine piece where it's an easy and smart way for empowering teams to book a unit and reduce turnaround time and time to revenue. Now we have mastered that art in last 4 5 years, and today we have ready-made products which people can use the moment they decide to launch. So from that, today we have improved and we have created subversion of the product for the bottom of the pyramid. So we have something called as launch is actually designed in such a way that it's a DIY model for small time developers where they can just go plug in their information and you can go live in less than 3 days. However, today we all can understand that the real estate ecosystem is also looking forward to go ahead with lead generation activity, and that is where we are coming up with something called as One Prop Expo right now. One Prop Expo is going to be one of those property exhibition which we are revisiting after 5 years. I mean to say that's how we started 5 years back, but this time we are talking about 1,000 plus products. We are talking about engagement with HDFC and ICICI Bank, who are investors, and they all, and we are coming with partnership with different organizations like PropTech Buzz, and we are creating this whole brand and IP by virtue of which a developer can post their product. A buyer can go and see it. It can create feeds. There is an AI at the back end which talks about simulating a different programs. And at the end of the day, a lead who is looking forward to buy a property, they gets the vital information, and then they can process this when they go to the site. In addition to this, we are combining a lot of offers coming into the picture. So as some, if I have to put up in summary, we started with lead generation, then we corrected the lead optimization or digital transformation. Now we are going back to as one of the offering, which is again a mass lead generation through an aggregation model. So it's a shared services between a lot of developers and properties coming together to generate leads.
Got it. Now, if I may zoom in a little bit and understand each of the components in your platform in detail. So, you explained how the virtual sales gallery thing work, and uh, lead generation is pretty straightforward. But I'm keen to understand how does the booking workflow work. So, I understand that you have incorporated the booking workflow into the platform, and somebody who is trying to buy a property can book using the technology of your platform, do KYC, and all sort of things. So how does it work? Can you explain to us?
Yes. So this was a very interesting fact. So one of the leading developers in India was trying to build something of this kind for almost 5 years, and it was at the early stage of 2021 when we discovered that this is one of the problem statement, and we were working at the back end. The idea behind it is that when you are looking forward to buy a particular unit, today you don't have something with similar in the lines of Book My Show or maybe Redbus.in. So how you can simplify this problem statement? Because what happens today, traditionally you go, you fill up a paper, somebody goes back at the inventory system, they checks and they come back and then they block the unit. More importantly, you will see in news that the same unit was being sold to multiple people, and these are the challenges coming in. And on top of that, the pricing piece fluctuates a lot between the time you have bought it, and there are hidden charges and components comes into the picture. We thought that can we simplify this. So what we decided is like to create every unit which are mapped and integrated with different components of the product pricing, and then there could be escalation and de-escalation. So it's like simple thing. What we do, we pick up the whole project. The project is where we create SVGs. These SVGs are mapped with inventory checklist which we get from the developer, mapped with the pricing pieces, which information they push in. Once everything is being mapped, they have some different formulas to charge the taxation related to the GST and all. Once you push in, you receive a portal. Now this portal can be used in two different ways: one, where a sales agent is supporting you; second, when you are doing it by yourself. So when a sales agent is supporting you, you can just go on an iPad, you can select those details. You receive an OTP. Basis that OTP, the information is being checked. You are filled with multiple information, and we do have provision starting from expression of interest till the booking process. So you select a unit which is mapped to the expression of interest. The pricing gets released. You make that payment online or offline. When I take online, you get links through Razorpay and others where you can go and make the payments immediately. Offline is where you can swipe your card, you can pay by a check or an NEFT or something of this kind. Once that process is being done, then inventory gets blocked in your name, and then the process begins about your home loan processing and all. Same
Mhm.
way, the other side of the story is you get a map. You can select that particular map. You can select that tower. Based on the tower, you can select the configuration you are focusing. Basis that, you can see the available units. You can select the unit. The cost sheet gets generated. You can negotiate with the sales agent. The price gets revised. Then you can go and block it. Once you block it, you get to know what are the prior payment plans are available based on the developer. Once you select a payment plan, it goes to the next stage where we do the eKYC, where if you have details of, like, if you are an NRI customer, if you have PIO and OCI details, you just fill in those details, and then you can go to the next stage by just making the payment online. And once a particular stage is being achieved, for example, 10 or 20% of the payment, the system generates the agreement, it forwards you to the registration process, and it takes forward from there. So that's how we have simplified the whole booking piece, right?
Got it. And I also understand there is a separate analytics module. So what role does personalization and data-driven insights play in improving the customer journeys from, let's say, initial property exploration to final booking and beyond?
Wow, this is one of my interesting topic. Okay, uh, the real estate ecosystem was driven by a lot of data which is on the Excel sheet, but you could
Mm,
not convert them into sizable information which can drive sales. When we introduced the insights and analytics, our first focus was to bring the behavioral insight of a property buyer to a sales agent. The idea was that today, let's take it to use cases. Use case number one, where the team chases every phone number and email ID and following up, sir, what's your focus, are you looking forward to buy and all. The second is, can you play around with the engagement data? So when you are done with your visit, when you go back home, you engage with the product collaterals and information. And while doing so, the sales agent can get a set of information that, hey, Mr. Mohanty is interested in, a two-bedroom hall kitchen. However, he is exploring three-bedroom hall kitchen more often. So the basis that when I'm sitting with you, I can actually position you, I can propose you that what product you can buy and take things forward. One of the
Mm-hmm.
best case study which is very famous in our ecosystem was, there was this lady who was looking for, discussing and negotiating a two-bedroom hall kitchen. And when she's going back home, she was always going and focusing on a three bedroom and all of those. With that
Mm-hmm.
analytics, the sales guy just checked that she is eligible for a higher mortgage or a home loan, and just by paying an additional 15,000 of an EMI, she could shift from a two-bedroom to a three-bedroom. When the sales agent informed her, she was very excited and happy that, okay, fine, that this makes my life easy, and the sale happened. So these are small things which actually empowers the team with analytics, the behavioral analytics part of it. And that's where we, on the customer journey, we help them on focusing that in a major way.
Got it. And also, some of the real estate developers rely on third-party partners, the channel partners, because the in-house resources are not enough, or sometimes they do not have in-house resources to sell the real estate. So, in that case, they have to, create some sort of digital interface for the partners to, book in, get the booking done, or maybe at least show the property to the others. So, I think there is a component of the of your platform that facilitates that. So, can you explain that to us?
So in real estate, there are four B's in this ecosystem. There is a builder who builds the product, there is a banker who funds the product, and there is a broker who builds the whole pipeline. And all three focus on the buyer who is looking forward to buy. Today, if you say globally, we call them as realtors, channel partners, brokers, who drives a huge amount of pipeline. In India, also, if you go from top North India to South India, you will see that in North India, almost 99% of the sales are being driven by the channel partners or the brokers. And in South, coming down to South India, it's almost 60-70% of the sales are being driven by them. They are working way too in an orthodox manner, where most of the things are done with pen, paper, and WhatsApp is the mode of communication. It creates a lots of problem. The problems are related to information sharing with a property buyer, prospective property buyer. It talks about scheduling visits. You can't remember everyone who have made a site visit. There is a loss of business, conflict of interest, payment follow-ups, and all. What we did is we did all of this in a seamless manner by creating a simple app. Now this app is called as a CP app, Channel Partner app. Now in this Channel Partner app, realtors can actually come, they can register. Now this is not registration with us, this is a registration with the developer, where they showcase all the projects and they can actually navigate through it. And it has actually solved three larger problems. First is adding the leads, where we have made it in such a way that you don't have to share all the lead details. It's just a few components by virtue of which you can get tagging. Once you come bring this customer to a site visit, it confirms whether this lead is logged against your name for a period of 60 or 90 days. And then you can actually track their status through different object statuses. And more importantly, again, the behavioral analytics. So you get to know that you have a customer A who's actually engaging, and then how you can focus to close it. So that way we have helped both the enterprises and the broking ecosystem to drive their numbers faster.
Got it. Uh, I wanted to ask you one question around data security and privacy. So, I think you would agree that in India, data security is a big concern compared to rest of the world. Uh, People are fine with sharing data with others. I mean, the companies keep sharing data with each other, and sometimes they share it without the consent of the customer, especially in the real estate sector. By any chance, if you sign up on a platform searching for a property, chances are high that it will land in the inbox of multiple brokers, and they'll call you, harass you for buying the property. So how does Relata ensure compliance and privacy regulations, and how do you ensure that the customers data, or clients data, stays safe and is not shared with other clients? And uh, how do you go about privacy and security?
So here it comes with two part of it. We are an enterprise solution. So the first thing, we don't have access to the data. The system is designed in such a way that a developer have to make a data executive a collaborator. Then only they can go and access PID data. That includes name, mobile number, and email address. However, this problem was more from the data leads getting leaked from the ecosystem. So it's like somebody who is working in the screen, and they are sharing those details through printouts or scanning or some or the other, or downloading in Excel. What we did is we started working in such a way where the lead details are masked. And when these lead details are being masked, you don't have access to those details abruptly. And every time you are producing those lead details in a particular format, it creates a log at the back end. Now that's one part of it. The second thing is we have driven a lot of those activities using QR codes. And then because we do have end-to-end solution, so in the app you just need to go and click on the name, and then the rest of the things you can just function it. Suppose you want to call them, you just have to press the call button, and then the call is getting scheduled between the buyer and the seller. So it goes on. But here we have taken some measures from the product level itself. First is the way the system is being has been designed. We have taken care of all the security measures, which includes the guidelines given by ISO 27001. More important is the masking of the data, and then the encryption. When it goes to the customer level, where there are a lot of people who can play around with those data, we have opted for a secured method using QR codes. So you don't have the information by scanning just the QR code. It has to be the related systems itself. And third is, if you are on a larger system which you are accessing through a laptop or a desktop, which is the backend part of it, every data is being masked, and to access those data points, you need to go and click, and it creates a log. So it's not that easy.
Mhm.
And even though if you want to take a photograph of it, so you just get the name but not the whole mobile number and email addresses. So it's encrypted in that particular format. So that's how we have been progressing. However, things keeps coming, like where the system is getting stronger day by day. But at the end of the day, people find out different ways and means, and we are also learning with that particular thing, that customer experience is the most important attribute. And every time you are getting a call, it disturbs them. So we wanted to protect that, and the team is working very hard with every time we find out that there is a loophole into the system, we build it such that the whole ecosystem gets benefited out of it.
Got it. My final question before closing the session. So you have spent good amount of time in real estate.
It's 2 o'clock.
How do you foresee the next few years in Indian real estate? Have you identified any surprising insights or trends through your analytics, such as I always hear that there are all demand is always higher than the supply, and which is why houses are overpriced, and I mean, lot of things. Indian real estate is crazy. So what is your insight on next 5 to 10 years?
So, as we are becoming the youngest country in the world, the population is increasing. A lot of migration is happening from small villages and towns towards the cities. India is talking about 100 plus smart cities, and a lot of things are happening with respect to better homes, better quality of living. Home is one among the most important aspects, and today people realize that you need something which can actually give you a better lifestyle. So realty ecosystem is growing. Second thing, in Indian real estate, it's always appreciating. It's not as fast as Dubai, where today you launch a product and it gets sold off in just blink of a eye. But here in India, it's slow, but it's very steady. So it's always appreciating. It's not
Mhm.
depreciating. So it's one of those asset classes where we see a lot of investment coming into the picture. One trend which I found out, that normally an Indian buys 2.3 homes in their lifetime. So it's not the first home which you purchase where you are going to stay. It's the third home where usually people stay, and they retire and they want to live for a longer period of time. Now that's a journey. So that happens when you buy and sell, and then rental yields are something which people are focusing today a lot. So if I have to talk about three insights in analytics, first is RESI, the segment is going to grow with more investment opportunities coming from different segments of players. Second thing which I see coming into the picture is fractional. So today in real estate, today we need to invest 1.5, 2 crores to buy a two-bedroom hall kitchen in different parts of the world. How about a 10 lakh rupee investment product coming into the picture, and basis that you are going forward with your investment pieces? The third is use of technologies is increasing a lot. In the last 5 years, we have seen the education has helped the promoters and the developers to adapt to a system which is actually going to help them to grow their business, and they understand that. And if India has to do $1 trillion realty sales by 2029, technology has to play a very vital role, and it's going to happen. So these are the three insights which I would love to share with you, and yeah, that's all.
Well, thanks for joining us, Sam. It was a pleasure to have you on our platform. And I must say, we really gained a lot of knowledge about real estate and technology. Thanks for coming to our podcast and sharing the knowledge with us. And my best wishes for the company you are building.
Thank you. It was pleasure to be here, and thanks for ELI for inviting us, and happy to share more information whenever needed. Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Thank you, Sam.